We turn for the second time to Luke 6. Yesterday we saw the beginning of opposition to Jesus based on the way he kept the Sabbath law. He followed the law but not added traditions. He chose 12 disciples and called them apostles or representatives. Then he gave the Beatitudes, which in Luke include both blessings and corresponding woes. We pick up reading at the end of the woes. Luke 6, starting at verse 24. But how terrible for you who are rich now! You have had your easy life. How terrible for you who are full now! You will go hungry. How terrible for you who laugh now! You will mourn and weep. How terrible when all people speak well of you! Their ancestors said the very same things about the false prophets. But I tell you who hear me, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mistreat you. If anyone hits you on one cheek, let him hit the other one too. If someone takes your coat, let him have your shirt as well. Give to everyone who asks you for something, and when someone takes what is yours, don't ask for it back. Do for others just what you would want them to do for you. If you love only the people who love you, why should you receive a blessing from God? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good only to those who do good to you, why should you receive a blessing from God? Even sinners do that. And if you lend only to those from whom you hope to get it back, why should you receive a blessing from God? Even sinners lend to sinners to get back the same amount. No, love your enemies and do good to them. Lend and expect nothing back. You will then have a great reward from God, and you will be considered children of the Most High God, for He is good to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge others, and God will not judge you. Do not condemn others, and God will not condemn you. Forgive others, and God will forgive you. Give to others, and God will give to you. Indeed, you will receive a full measure, a generous helping, poured into your hands, all that you can hold. The measure you use for others is the one that God will use for you. And Jesus told them this parable. One blind man cannot lead another one. If he does, both will fall into a ditch. No pupils are greater than their teacher, but all pupils, when they have completed their training, will be like their teacher. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but pay no attention to the log in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Please, brother, let me take that speck out of your eye," yet you cannot even see the log in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will be able to see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. A healthy tree does not bear bad fruit, nor does a poor tree bear good fruit. Every tree is known by the fruit it bears. You don't pick figs from thorn bushes or gather grapes from bramble bushes. A good person brings good out of the treasure of good things in his heart. A bad person brings bad out of his treasure of bad things. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and yet don't do what I tell you? Anyone who comes to me and listens to my words and obeys them, I will show you what he is like. He is like a man who, in building his house, dug deep and laid the foundation on rock. The river flooded over and hit that house, but could not shake it, because it was well built. But anyone who hears my words and does not obey them is like a man who built his house without laying a foundation. When the flood hit that house, it fell at once, and what a terrible crash that was. Let me start us out in prayer today. O Lord our God, you are the just judge. You have no favorites. You judge everyone impartially. You see us when we are being mistreated, when people accuse us falsely and become our enemies. But you told us how to live here in this chapter of Luke, how we are to be merciful, how we are to love others, how we are not to condemn others by a different measure than the one we use for ourselves, how we should not be blind and think that we could lead others. And Lord, there's the evil things that we have saved in our hearts. No wonder when we speak, we bring out evil things. We call you Lord, and yet we don't do what you say. Lord, we choose today to hide these things, to place these treasures in our heart. May you transform us, Lord. May you take us weak as we are and change us from within. Make us like good trees that bear good fruit in their season. Help us to build our lives with our foundation on the rock of Jesus. Let that be our goal for today.